What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the B3 Cut podcast. I'm your host, Brett. Chris isn't here today. We got multiple injuries, Matt, and Tanner the Head is back. It was like 2 episodes you weren't here?
Yep.
Was it just 2?
Did you miss me?
We're going to go to our show partners. We got Elite Nutrition. You can check them out at Elite Nutrition, EliteNutritionOmaha.com, or use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Go to the store in Omaha or Lincoln, yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
We also have Rosewood Block to make the best cutting boards in barbecue. Fully customizable. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off there as well. We have the real Midwest Mecca, Omaha Barbell, where we almost always usually record from. There's no free shakers or discount codes.
If you come out to Elite Nutrition, though, I have a free week pass that you can use.
Yes, if you're a local resident who hasn't been here,
Yeah.
check it out. We have great equipment, great apparel. Stop by.
All true.
That new pendulum squat, like the depth that you go on that thing,
All the way butthole
is
down.
Yeah, it's scary.
We did it yesterday morning, and I was at the bottom, and I farted, and I was very nervous. Because you're just, I mean, that's like the squatty potty. You're in like perfect pooping position.
Yeah, like if you do have to shit,
Don't.
get it out first.
Well, but then there's always that old saying, you don't want to train with a loose sphincter. You know, when you,
I think that was because don't put things in your butt before you train.
no, you know, because when you've had one of those poops where like you get done and you just feel like your butthole's like not like
No.
it's still like breathing kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of those poops that just doesn't stop. Where like you poop and you wipe and you're like, I gotta poop again. Fuck. Poop, wipe, poop, wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanner apparently doesn't do that.
Well, I mean, I guess
doesn't
you
poop.
two have the loose buttholes.
Well, you did. You know what? He probably does. You're just
Just flapping in the window there.
I mean, they're not flapping.
Is it like a fucking tunnel? Like just a cave?
No, I
Can I
mean,
get a fucking
The
echo?
doors touch.
Hello, hello.
That's surprising. After I
The
mean, you did
latch
some
isn't real
time. I
tight.
figured, you know, doing some time yours is probably pretty tight. I suppose.
That is not really a real thing if you don't go to like prison.
But you were. I mean, but I think you told me you were pretty respected in there, so they probably.
I was locked up by myself. They wouldn't let me talk to anybody.
That's probably the best thing for the jail.
Probably best for them.
Luckies. Oh, yeah, before we were talking about homeless people, we were out in Nashville last weekend. Amber and I are waiting across the street. There's another couple next to us, and there's this younger, we'll call a quote-unquote homeless girl. Because I think there's 3 kinds of homeless people. I think there's like mentally ill homeless people, people who have like actually fallen on hard times that are homeless, and people who like want to be homeless. You know what I'm saying? Some people do it for a job, I guess, panhandling, but they're not homeless. They're just panhandlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she walks up to this couple and asks them for some money, and the guy goes, offered her $1, and she must have any more. He goes, well, I only have 20s, and she goes, well, give me a 20. And he was like, no. So we're like walking across the street, and we're talking to this couple, and they're from New York. They're telling us, so they're like used to this situation. And I was like, well, if you want a 20, maybe get like a fucking job. And she was like, yeah, we were in Florida, and this guy we saw was homeless, and so we took him like a sandwich and a drink, and he was like, well, I don't want that, I want money.
Cool.
So, and then later on, I saw that same girl, and she had a dog with her. And that's like the
Ooh,
worst sympathy card to play is the
Stepping
dog.
up your game.
But yeah, I just don't like homeless people.
Philly has, like, I haven't had any issues with homeless folk there, but the one I was laughing about is like some of them are yellers, and I don't know if like some of them I think are yelling to just like draw attention and do whatever, and some of them are like maybe a little legitimate off their rocker. This guy was fucking hilarious. He's standing up on this like one of those concrete planter boxes, and he's yelling about how the universe is made or how the stars are made and galaxies and stuff. And like, first there's all this gas, and then the gas has to come together and it creates stars, and then stars create planets. And he's just kind of doing this thing. And then the dude just stops and he just yells out, and I just farted. I created a universe. You can create a universe too.
Wow.
Dying laughing. And then he had a whole thing that went on afterwards I didn't really hear because I was laughing so hard. So I gave him $5. That was great.
There was a guy last year in when we were in Nashville, and I don't know if he was homeless, but he had a giant cardboard sign that he was wearing, And he said, I'm not poor. I just want money for strippers and titties. And you know what? That guy got a ton of money and people kept taking pictures with him.
Yeah.
I was like, it's all about marketing.
Yeah.
So if you're homeless out there listening to this,
It really is. There's actually a bunch of studies out there that show like what you put on the sign changes like what you get more so than like your appearance or where you sit and stuff.
well, yeah, you got to be careful. Like we've been in Chicago and you're walking down, and it's like, they're talking about their health problems, like, oh, I had this done yesterday and blah, blah, whatever. Well, then you see them the next day and it's the same sign. I'm like, come on, bro. You had that sign yesterday. You
Was
didn't
it
get
yesterday
dialysis.
or yesterday?
Yeah, you didn't get dialysis 2 days in a row. And if you have good penmanship, clean cardboard, and a fresh marker, you could get a job.
Yeah, like the guy that used to sit out here, like he wrote so small on that sign, you couldn't read it.
Yeah, I have terrible penmanship, and I was able to get a job. Like, he has good penmanship. Everything was spelled right. Like, and I would assume, like, in Nashville and Chicago, there's a lot of jobs. Like, Nashville is, like, one of the fastest growing cities right now. In Chicago, there's just, like, tons of shit out there. I'd assume that there's got
I don't know why anyone lives in Chicago.
Well, you get it's just, you never know if you're going to get shot. It's like a gamble every day. That's also where Amber and I were pretty sure we walked around a dead girl that was homeless. Like, this girl was, like, laying in the middle of the corner, like, not even, like, off to the side. And then we kind of, like, just stepped
Did you give her
over
a
her.
nudge?
No, I thought about if I had a stick to poke her,
Yeah.
but
Just stop.
we just walked around her, and then we come out of the next door, and there's, like, an ambulance rolling up over there. So,
That's nice. At least someone called.
yeah.
I've seen cops just drive by people laying on sidewalks in Philly.
I was probably so used to it, though.
That yeah, like most, like I've seen enough of them out there that you can tell like the ones that are just like sleeping on the manhole cover to stay warm, or they're like sleeping. But then there's some of them that you're like, it looks like you just fucking died and fell over, and you watch them long enough and their foot will twitch and they'll breathe and it's fine.
Yeah.
But you can't tell the cops because they won't stop. They don't care.
What are they going to do with him? Take him to jail?
No, just call the squad. Squad will take them somewhere and then
They'll be right back.
yep, they'll be right back there.
Yeah, speaking of Philly, big Super Bowl weekend.
Mm-hmm.
As a Cowboys fan, I fucking hate it, but I'm cheering for the Eagles.
You're a traitor.
I'm not a traitor.
I actually talked to another Cowboys fan that said you're a traitor.
That's fine.
They said that you can never root for the
He's probably just a bandwagon fan like you are anyway.
No. He's a lifetime Cowboys fan.
How old is he? 6?
50?
Oh.
He thinks you're a traitor.
Is he cheering for the Chiefs?
No. He's cheering for a meteor, like a real person.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, obviously. Yeah, obviously I'd rather like, neither team be in there.
like a real Cowboys fan,
Fair.
he's cheering for a meteor.
Yeah,
At
I'd
the
rather
stadium.
no team. But, I like Saquon Barkley. I do like Saquon. Yeah. But
I don't think, I have to double check, but I don't think the Chiefs have allowed a 100-yard rusher this year.
they haven't played Saquon.
Yet.
Saquon, the Eagles have played 9 of the 10 worst running defenses in the league this year.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
So, yeah,
Probably healthy.
Yeah, that's how he rushed for 2,000 yards.
he did.
He did. And isn't the Eagles' defense like basically the Georgia defense?
Hopefully not the Georgia defense of this year.
No. That doesn't even
I mean,
work out.
hopefully the Georgia
That doesn't even
defense.
work out, dummy. The timeline doesn't even work out. God, what an idiot.
What are you talking about?
They couldn't have drafted him already.
Oh, the Georgia, like there are a bunch of Georgia and Alabama players, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll probably be a close game. But what did Tom say? Based on all the stat bets, basically, that Philly should win.
Oh, yeah, by 1 million.
Yeah. Based on yards and touchdowns.
Perfect.
Do you know, so some of the prop bets, Saquon over-under on longest rush. Do you have a guess on the yards?
Probably 60. He's been averaging. He's had a bunch of those 60-yard runs.
No, it's like 24.
They think that's going to be his longest rush.
Yeah, something like that. 24, it's somewhere in that range, 24 to 30, somewhere in there. But do you know who has the prop bet for the second longest rush?
Mahomes.
Yeah,
For what?
13
That's the longest runs they think are going to happen in that game.
by those players.
But I mean, even with, they think that Saquon, that's the longest rush he's going to have.
Yeah,
Even Mahomes, I think when he runs, he can get more than 13 yards. Plus with the referee assistance, plus the extra yardage on the end.
Now, don't they shift prop bets just like other bets depending on how people start betting on it? So if they came on there like, oh, at 40 and a shitload of people start taking the under, then that number starts coming down, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what it came out with. Because don't they usually, like the first number that comes out is generally like the statistical probability. Like, here's what we think it is, maybe hedged a little bit one way or the other.
What they try and there's a lot of statistical probability on the first one, but they also are trying to get a number that will get about 50-50 split.
Yeah.
They want to keep it about 50-50.
I would guess that Saquon will have a longer run than that.
Then take the over.
Yeah, go on
Well,
drive over to Council Bluffs, get on DraftKings.
I don't bet on
I wonder,
sports.
I should check that out. Because so with Space Internet, it doesn't register me as in Nebraska.
It's not your. It doesn't matter where your
Yeah.
VPN says. It's your actual location on your phone.
What if you turn off location services?
Then you can't do it.
Oh.
So that's it's a geo fence based on your phone location.
Oh,
That's how they get you. Because you could just, I mean, that'd be stupid if you could just VPN into freaking Council Bluffs
Yeah.
or Des Moines, you know what I mean?
over there.
Or wherever it's legal at. Yeah, it's actually phone location.
Which I don't understand why it's not legal, but you can go down to that Warhorse down here and fucking bet on sports.
So here's the thing about the sports gaming in Nebraska is that it got passed without them knowing it, and they were pissed. So, so when we voted 2 years ago to allow games of chance, so no one talked about it before, but in Nebraska, sports gaming is a game of chance. But but no one brought it up.
Yeah.
Like the people who wrote the bill, who wanted it passed, they just
They're like,
let's just see
gonna
if
leave
no
it
one.
fine.
So as soon as it came out, and that like that's why it's been 2 years. You know, and you still can't bet on Nebraska or on Creighton if they're playing in Nebraska. So if Nebraska is playing in Lincoln, you can't bet on them. If they're playing in Iowa, you can.
Interesting.
But so you can't, like, it's some of the apps and stuff. I mean, it'll all come around. I mean, we have legalized medical marijuana that'll probably be in place by 2030.
Probably.
So obviously Tanner's taking the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. I think
Yeah.
is the point still? Was it 1.5? It was 1.5 earlier.
Oh, geez.
It's always just been right around there. Well, the crazy thing is that if you go on paper, like the Eagles, like if you're just checking position groups, the Eagles win more of them, but they don't win quarterback and they don't win head coach, and that's the only difference.
Sirianni's a weird guy.
If you were following the beginning of the year,
He about got fired.
he was the prop bet to be fired first.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because him and Jalen Hurts aren't like buddies. They don't like each other.
Yeah. And maybe now.
I still don't think they like each other. I think they yell. I mean,
Sometimes winning brings friendship.
yeah.
True.
Also on the sports line, how about the old Trumpster signing the no transgender in
Yeah.
sports?
It's huge.
I just
It's
hate
huge.
that even has to be like a thing. Like if you want to be a transgender, that's like whatever you want to do. Like I don't really give a fuck, but like I just have never been okay with it. We've talked about it in the past. Like
It's not okay.
I think to me, it's just like coming from like the powerlifting world. It's like when the guys that were like on roids would go into a tested meet and try to like sneak past. You know what I mean? I'm like, to me, that just makes you look like such a pussy that you know you can't win
Right.
in the untested. So you go to the tested because you're like, well, I'm going to fucking clean up on these guys. You know what I mean? Like, same thing. Obviously, what was that fucking swimmer? Wasn't he like 400th in the country or something like that? And
Yeah.
then he becomes a female. And you want to be a female? That's fine. I don't really care if you want to do that. That is your cross to bear, whatever you want to call it. But then you come over and all of a sudden you're like the fucking national champion. Like, that's stupid. And how many girls did you see go the other way? Was there any girls that went the other way?
Well, so that funny enough, the NCAA updated their bylaws that says and here's what it says: if you were assigned male at birth, you cannot compete in female sports. It does not say anything about going the other way. Do you know why? Because no one fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
does.
was there anyone at all that did it?
No.
No, I mean,
Well,
you
first
see
off, they
some-
couldn't.
I mean,
because
what
they
would
were-
even be? That's what I'm trying to. What would even be a sport that a female could? and this isn't me like downgrading female sports at all, but what would be a sport a female could go and?
Well, they actually can't because they can't be on tests.
No, I'm not saying like any kind of like. Could you like that they could like
I know,
if a
but to
female-
go from female to male, you have to be on test.
No, but like if you were just to take a biological female, say she's just female, but she wants to compete against men.
She just played the I identify as a man. You know what I mean?
Okay,
What's a sport that they could be super competitive at?
Nebraska has a good rifle team.
That's what I'm trying to like.
I'm thinking like some rifle bowling. Well, I guess you'd have to use a 16-pound. Well, you could use whatever weight ball you want,
Yeah.
I think, in bowling. So you could.
I don't know.
But
What about what's the
They're just not going to
variance?
play football or basketball.
No, I
There's
know.
a reason why we have. There's a reason why we have gendered sports.
You think basketball? I think a female like might do okay in basketball.
Not a freaking chance.
You don't think so?
Caitlin Clark would get annihilated.
But why? It's not really a contact sport. And the
Because-
speed is determined by the point guard basically.
No,
When you're coming down.
still get smashed.
she couldn't get a shot off
Why?
because the guys jumped too high.
Yeah, but
And they're-
dude, how many times have you seen somebody get faked out? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Like I said, what level are we? Are you talking about like the highest level, like NBA?
Especially college.
Caitlin Clark plays in the WNBA. She can never play in the NBA.
Never.
Never, not a chance.
I'm not saying she's going to start. You don't think she
she's-
could be like a?
No.
No. I mean, just look at what the Serena Williams, right? Someone asked her about, because it was what's his name, McIntyre.
Oh, John
Or
McEnroe.
Yeah, McEnroe said, like, hey, she's the greatest female player, and they're like, why does she got to be a female? Blah blah blah. Someone asked her, and she was like, oh God, no, I'd get smashed if I played against
Yeah.
men.
Well, but you're also talking. But again, now with that, you're talking about ball speeds and different things like that. But in basketball,
You're talking about speed, height, jumping ability, arm length. Like the female game, like if a female dunks, it's an oddity.
I understand. There's plenty
Every
there's plenty
player-
of slow white guys that played in the NBA who were just shooters.
But they were who?
Used to be.
Who?
Like now, I
I
don't.
mean, like yes, like Luca isn't like the most in shape.
But he's a giant human. But you have like a Steve Kerr, like B.J. Armstrong back in the day. He wasn't a white guy, he was a slow white guy, but he was just like a small shooter.
It's just not going to happen. It is not going to
I
happen.
think it's a different game. I don't watch a lot of basketball, but basketball now seems more just like we're going to go fast. We're not really playing defense. We could play a little bit of defense, but we're just moving up and down the court fucking fast.
It's not going to happen.
And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like that was one of the better because it's not a contact. It's not about.
I think that no,
I don't think so.
I don't.
I think that's their best athletic chance because it's not track either.
I think it's the zero athletic chance.
To me, it'd be stuff like archery. Assuming they're shooting at the same distance.
That's what I'm saying. But that's like really not athletic.
Olympics.
I know. I understand.
So it's not track. It's nothing to do with jumping, running.
I don't even know what the top like 100-meter female and 100-meter like.
Well, and
I don't know what their gaps are. Like, could they place top 20?
Let me clarify. The fastest woman in the world is faster than 90% of the men in the world. Okay, or whatever. The problem is that when you go 1-to-1, right? Like the fastest woman in the world for the fastest man, it's not close.
Well, no, I'm not saying she's going to win. I'm just saying could she go top 10?
No.
I don't think so.
And that's what I'm saying with like Caitlin Clark. I'm not saying Caitlin Clark is going to do what she does in WNBA in the NBA.
No.
I still don't think.
I don't think I don't think they'd let her get. I don't think she get past half court.
Well, because she was going to play in that mixed league, the fucking Big Three or whatever that
Well,
was.
mixed league's still good.
That was,
different than
but that's
all men.
But the Big Three, was that the
Yeah,
league?
I think it is. Ice Cube's league. Is that Big Three?
The problem that's half court, right? So like you have ability to get open easier because rebound, kick it out to the person who just. I mean, if you ever play half court basketball, you just
See, I
kick
think
it
that'd be a faster pace. I feel like when you're coming
but
across,
you have more gap.
yeah.
Like I could play half court against people that were way better than me because as soon as a rebound comes, you can hop out and you have a way easier shot. But anything in transition, like anything full court brings the whole thing. Like full court's harder.
See, I think full court would slow it down more because you can
You
basically.
have way more spacing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm trying to figure like an athletic. Again, we talked about that. What's an athlete? And I'm not trying to take away from any of these guys, like archery or any of that stuff. But what's an athletic sport? Because I'm not gonna sit here and say a female can never compete. You know what I mean?
I mean, they could compete, but again, like you look at I think Serena Williams is the best one because this is just
See, I think the ball speed makes that so different. The
right.
speed
But I
that
think,
those guys.
I think you can extrapolate that to anything that involves speed, strength, agility, explosiveness. I think that is a good analysis for that. And she would be, I don't know what they said, like 200th or something like that. Or she got beat by the 200th player or something like that. Right? And I think you can extrapolate that out to anything that's going to be athletic. And it's just not going to happen. But I think a piece that people conflate is the point that Tanner brought up, that these top tier female athletes are still better than 95% plus of men, the rest of the men on the planet, right? So no one's saying that, oh, all men are better. We're saying when you're looking at your top echelon, if you were to look at your kind of bell curve, your performance tail on the front end for men stretches out further than it does for women. So when you look at your standard deviations from normal, right, the number of kind of like standard differences, your top 1% of men stretches out further than your top 1% of women.
So there's more of the 1% in men than there is in women.
Not necessarily more by volume. I would say like ability, right there.
So just to put in perspective, FloJo is the
She's got the world record or what?
10.49. Okay, 8th place at the 2024 Olympics for men in the 100 was 9.91.
So where would she place? So would she be top 20?
No. She may not have been able to qualify.
Well, I'm just saying overall, would she be like top 20 in the world or
No. That was just the 8th. I mean, that was just the top 8.
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea, 1 was 9.79 and 8 was 9.91. So there's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, you're tenths and thousandths of a second difference.
Yeah, and it's 100 meters. Like, so once again, this is not to say that women can't be phenomenal athletes. I have seen women just.
Oh no, I'm not.
Yeah,
So no, that's why I was just saying where it would put them, because you never see them go the other way. But is there a sport they could compete at?
I just don't think so. There, I mean,
I think if there was, they would. Like someone would have found it. Because no one's going to be like, oh, like how many times did you see females wrestle in high school? Because there wasn't like a.
So I was going to say wrestling. Like at the high school level, I have seen girls compete against men, but at the really
At the tiny weight.
at the lightweights, and hold their own.
Now, do you
But-
think
but-
that some
but
of
the-
that is?
The 3-time state champion from Texas, female, just wrestled. She had to wrestle on the male team because they needed like a light person just to get points, and she ended up losing like, I don't know, I want to say like 15-9 or 15-11. Like she lost, but she held her own. But they needed the points to win the match.
And I mean, I think it's great they're doing more like female wrestling starting in high school now. But I remember guys when we were in high school, and if they had to wrestle a girl, it was very awkward.
It was fucking
So
terrible.
I don't know, and I'm not trying to discredit the girls wrestling them, but it's like, is that part of their winning? Because you kind of feel, you know what I mean? Like,
You get a little awkward, but I think the 3 that I recall, I don't remember names or a lot of details, but just that the 3 female wrestlers who beat male wrestlers when I was going through school were all junior seniors versus like freshman sophomore. So like you're at this super lightweight, they are much more physically mature than their male counterparts that they're wrestling, and there probably is some awkwardness, right? Like you take a freshman guy and you're like, hey, you need to go wrestle this chick.
Growing up wrestling,
you don't want to like.
I was fat, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
you know what I
for
mean?
the
You know how
other
awkward you are as a freshman. Like, I don't want to. Like, what if I touch her boob, or what if I, you know what I mean? Like, touch her lady.
Her
Like,
dad's gonna fuck me up.
but yeah,
You
it's
don't
just.
wanna
I think
win.
there's some
Yeah.
awkwardness to that
There
too.
would be, but I think but if you go beyond that, now you get into like, if you look at some of like the huge one out, Beast of the East, I think is like the huge East Coast one. Like there's females that'll transfer back and forth. I think you get to that level and they don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, no, but I just think when you're in the early high school level, like,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to take away their wins or discredit, but I'm like, were all those guys wrestling you at like full capacity, or was it like, yucky?
No,
I touched her inappropriately. Now I feel weird. Like,
I think most of the guys are wrestling at fairly full capacity because
They don't want to lose to a chick.
Yes,
Yeah, you don't want to lose to a girl either. I get that too.
that's the
Like
thing.
you want to accidentally grab a boob before you lose to
I
a
feel like
chick.
I've even seen people like forfeit before because they didn't want to wrestle a girl.
You're just in like the worst position if you're a guy, especially like let's just say you're like 7th, 8th, 9th grade wrestling and you lose to a girl or you beat her ass. Like
Right.
it's a 0-win game.
Right, like the whole thing is like, how many 5th graders could you beat up? You're like, I don't want to play that because either you eventually get beat up by a 5th grader,
Yeah.
or you beat up a bunch of 5th graders. Right?
Yeah, didn't Cat Williams get beat up by like a bunch of 13-year-olds?
I don't know, maybe.
As
I
an
think he
adult?
did at one point. As an adult.
He's a pretty small adult. So.
Yeah. But I guess the fact that that just had to even be like an executive order signed.
It's sad. It's really sad here's the thing. Like when it comes to Title IX, like Title IX basically says that for every male scholarship that a university has, there has to be a female scholarship.
That's great. Yeah, that's fine.
It's great. Like, but when you are letting men take those scholarships, right, and you're letting men compete against women and take away opportunities for women for education and just for championships. Like, what if you're second place and you lost to a guy? Like, you don't have your national championship trophy because a dude with a dick decided he was a female.
Well, that Riley Gaines.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean she got what, second or third or whatever
She
she got?
tied. She tied that Leah Thomas.
Oh yeah, but they had to give it to her. They said, "Well, we got to give it
They had to give it
to."
to Leah because they needed the photos. Leah needed to take the photos with.
Yeah, it's just silly that. And if you want to sit here and argue for like trans rights, I'm not saying you can't be a trans. You can do whatever the fuck you want to, like whatever you want to be. But like, that's the stuff that makes people not like groups of people.
well, it's the
When you,
lack
when you
of yeah.
do stuff like that, it's like a lack of respect. Like, so not everything, like not every system out there is like that's old fashioned. We need to modernize. No, it's like it's not old. That's just like. Some things it's okay. It's the right way things are done. There should be men's sports, and there should be women's sports, and they should be separate.
Well, and if they shouldn't, then we just have non-gendered sports, and then whoever's the best place.
And then you know
Right,
what you go
what
back
you
to?
end up with is
You go back to
and
men's
open.
sports.
Yeah,
You go back to
sport
men's
and
sports.
open sports.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen. I think
No.
I think women should be able to compete and get an education.
And there's some freakishly athletic women out there.
Yeah.
It's great to watch them
Like you
compete.
get some stuff, especially you see like going through high school. Like you see the random like high school female football kicker, right?
Yeah.
Because she plays a shitload of soccer and she can fucking smash the ball in high school, right? Maybe she can go play somewhere in college, but then you get up in that upper echelon and it doesn't work. But I was going to ask, like the Title IX, is Title IX specifically talk about scholarships or does it refer to like equal opportunity for athletics in general?
I think it's equal opportunity for athletics in general, but I think it's tied into scholarships.
So scholarships might have been like the catalyst for it, or
Just to make sure, well, I mean, to have equal opportunity, you have to have scholarships. Or you really don't have equal
Okay.
opportunity.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think they go hand in hand.
yeah.
So the beauty about like Nebraska or any team with a football any school with a football team is you have 85 male scholarships. Okay, so that's why you have women's sports that they don't compete in men. You know, like you have women's rifle team. I don't think there's. You have people who get scholarships.
Yeah.
Which it provides opportunity. It provides you to get better at your skill. Provides you to get an education. Like I don't want that stuff to go away.
And see, I think like I'll have to talk to Derek, but and I think shotgun is just mixed.
Yeah.
I don't think they do men's and women's for the shotgun sports. I think they're mixed.
It could be at different levels too. Like, but maybe at Nebraska they need to have the extra female scholarships, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And isn't there something with we're talking about females competing? There's a lot of female top fuel drivers, but isn't it something about their reaction time is faster or something like that? Women have a faster reaction time, or it was something like that with some of the top fuel drivers.
They're probably like have a better like idea of what to do if you hit a curb. So
So I think it was at. I think it was fucking guys out here curbing cars, fucking. But no, I think because I know that girl Jessie James used to be married to a chick that was a top fuel, and I think John Force's daughter, and they were some of the top.
yeah.
And I think it's something with their. I thought I had read somewhere something with their reaction time. It's
Maybe.
quick.
Maybe.
Well, because that's all going with top fuel. It's just drag racing.
Well, yeah, but once that light hits to
Yeah.
the reaction time, and I think that's like
that
a,
reaction time is the key.
Yeah, and I think it's something I thought I'd read that something whether the women have like their reaction time is a little whatever it is. But
Could be.
I don't know. But yeah, to be
Here's like my biggest issue with the whole like trans in like sports. It's like how it's like people's view of the world. You can tell when they're like other centered or when they're very self centered, right? Because the only reason that you would want to do that is for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like
and-
if you want to switch because you want to win.
but it's just like even if you okay, let's just say you feel like
Yeah.
like you feel like you're a girl or whatever, you have to know that you have an unfair advantage. So you do not care about the fairness for everyone else. You only care about what you are perceiving as the fairness for you.
you don't want to be the 400th anymore. You want to be number one, and the only way you can do that.
Right. So like even if you want to, so like even if okay, there's nothing that says that Leah Thomas can identify as a woman but born as a male and swim against men. There's nothing that says you can't do that. Zero.
Yeah.
Right? So why don't you just do that? If it was really about just feeling
Because we know why.
because they also want to
They want to win.
which is very self-centered. Right? And I also feel like pronouns are very self-centered. Like you want the whole world to bend to you.
Well, to
Like here's the thing: if someone comes in and I don't like, people come in my store and I don't know, I just say, "Hey,"
Right.
Like I'm not going to go out of my way. Like I don't think anybody really goes out of their way to like misgender somebody. I don't think that's a.
No.
Like maybe.
well,
some
it's just
people,
like if I see a bunch of people come in the gym and I'm like, oh, what's up, guys? I'm not referring to you as a guy or whatever. I'm just like saying,
But I have some people. I have some people that I don't know. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like.
Test the water.
No.
What's
Well,
up, man?
here's the thing. Just in my head.
ma'am.
like in my head, it's just like I don't know, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but like if I do misgender
Right.
you because I can't tell, that's really not my fault, right? That's
Right.
not my fault that I can't.
Take a step back and understand the intent of the comment.
And like what you want the whole world to like to bend to what you have changed, like that is very self-centered. And honestly, I think the Democratic Party right now is very self-centered. Like they only worry about themselves. Like they don't care about anything else. They act like they do. But okay, this came out of Democrats' mouth all last week with the deportation thing. And what did they say? Well, what are you going to do when your crop prices go up? Oh, okay. So it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay for you to say only Mexicans pick crops.
and it's okay to exploit illegal immigrants for cheap labor to keep your blueberry prices down, Karen. That's what you're telling me? No, it's not okay. Like you're just self-centered. Like you're only worried about now you have the you try and like stand on your high horse and act like you care. No, you're just worried about you. So
I had a great policy. I said we can trade a bunch of shitty Americans for a bunch of hardworking Hispanics. I'll do that any day of the week.
oh well,
We'll just trade them Social Security numbers. We'll just fucking do it up. I'm fine with that.
who was it? The president of was it El Salvador that said we will take your illegal prisoners and we'll take your American prisoners for a much less rate than it costs you guys to house them in the United States. And I'm just like, well, that's not a goddamn deterrent. Like if you're just sitting there like, I'm thinking about committing a crime. Oh shit, I could end up in an El Salvadorian prison. Like maybe I zig when I was gonna zag, I don't want to end up in El Salvadorian prison. So
No, I've seen videos from there
yeah.
when they were like arrested all those MS-13 members and shit like
Was
that.
El Salvador? Where was the?
And I
country that
could-
they
I
just
could
built
have the country
huge
wrong.
prison. It's like 40,000 square feet.
I think it was El
Is
Salvador.
that El Salvador? They did that, and it's like super fucking hardcore, like 23-hour a day lockdown. Like they're not fucking around. They're just fucking arresting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that
because it
El
was basically
Salvador?
like if you like were affiliated with a like gang member, you were going to jail. Like it was like they're pretty hardcore down there.
Yeah. So the president said, hey, we'll house your illegal prisoners and your illegal American. I'm like, oh shit.
American
There we go.
prisoners.
Yeah.
We're going to
For
save some
dirt
money on.
cheap.
But
Like we can do it for a fraction of the cost. Trump's like, let's make a deal.
So yeah, it sucked that had to be a thing, but it is, and I'm glad he did it. I hope it actually gets put into some kind of law instead of just executive order that can get overturned.
They have to go through. I understand the need for. First off, just to throw it out there, I hate executive orders.
Yeah, they're
Fucking
out of hand, and some of it's I think it's probably been said by other presidents too, and even like Trump said in his last term, we don't need more laws, we just need to follow the ones that we fucking have. Would be great.
I hate executive orders because they're not laws.
Yeah.
Okay, so like whatever they're doing now, if they feel like it's important enough to do, and you have to do an executive order to kick the can down the road, fine, but get the law passed. Get the law.
You just pass. You write a bunch of executive orders, and you're like, "Cool, I've got this whole shelf of stuff that did never happen."
Well, as soon as the next president comes in, that's what, I mean, it's exactly what happened, and that's why I think some people use executive orders as like grandstanding, right? Because they know they're not going to stay.
Yeah.
You know, but they can say they did something, and honestly, I mean,
But I hope this one for sure gets put into law.
yeah.
Because women shouldn't have to deal with that. And don't tell me you're a fucking feminist if you believe that men should play women's sports. You're not a feminist. You don't.
Or if you think it's okay for like a guy in a dress with his wiener hanging out to go into a girl's locker room, like that's like
Yeah.
I think we should just say dicks, no dicks. Like if you have a dick,
But
you go here.
it's like
If
how
you
they
don't have a
justify it.
dick,
They're
you
like,
go there.
oh, the number of actual sexual assaults is like really low. That's still a number.
Like
That's never a good comparison when they talk about like them going. They're not all in there to rape people. The fact that you have to say they're not all. That's like that fucking chick that was like when they were taking over those apartments in Colorado.
there were only 3
there was only
complexes.
3 of them.
It's like
A few.
Or the
oh
US
yeah, no, it was a few. She said a few.
or that USAID thing when the Ilya Omar was like, well, that's only like 1% of our budget. So you're fine with still pissing that away? Like that's not a good answer. But yeah, saying not everyone's in there to fucking rape a girl in the bathroom. Why should there ever be?
But even if let's just say there was no sexual assault, there was never a sexual assault. I don't think that it's okay to have a 40-year-old man take off his dress and have his dick hanging out when there's some 13-year-old girl is in there.
And here's the thing.
Like I just don't think it's right.
Not every bathroom in the world has stalls and doors. You know what I mean? There's
I
a
think
lot of
girls
like
ones, guys, dude, man, we end up with some.
no,
bad
I'm talking about
situation.
there's some
Philly's
small
got it
town
down, almost
there's some
all of
small
them.
town bars. You go to different
Yeah.
places. They might have multi toilets, but they don't all have, and you're going to tell me that if that trans person goes into a bathroom somewhere else, they won't do it there.
I don't know. I'm really surprised that Philly, most of the public rooms, there, public restrooms there, are individual bathrooms, and they're all unisex. Like,
Kind of how we have them here, which is a door you go in. And you
yeah,
go.
almost all of them are. You walk in, so you might open a door and open to like the bathroom, but it's to go to the bathroom. There are all these individual stalls, and then you go out and you wash your hands out in this public area. So there's not like this, like small secluded area, like a regular female restroom where you walk in and there's just like some metal stalls and a sink or something. They're all like their own individual rooms, and it's way more convenient. A lot easier to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess that's where our episode is today. I'm glad that they did something about that because it's not cool. It's not fair.
I think women I like watching women's volleyball. I'm cheering. I was paying attention to Jordy Ball, like Nebraska, when like women's softball. By the way, she fucking did. She's fucking killing. Like already 60th ranked team in the country. 171 hit a home run as a pitcher. Telling you, she's going to be the Caitlin Clark of softball.
Well, hopefully. But at least there won't be a bunch of dudes hitting off her.
Right.
Not in softball.
Yeah. But anyway,
Well, now not in anything for the NCAA.
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
So
But the sad thing is like the NCAA is designed to protect college athletics.
until they made a bunch of money and then that went out the window.
And they took an executive order from the president for them to finally do the right thing.
But they're also just a scammy money grab company. At
The
this point.
NCAA is garbage. And it
Yeah,
should
they're
go away.
basically an organized crime.
Yeah, they're garbage.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's our.
So Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
God, I fucking hope.
I hope not. I'm just saying I hope not selfishly because if Eagles win, like our office is closed on Monday. So I'd like to have Monday off.
Well, if they lose, it should be closed on Monday and Tuesday because they're gonna have to clean
We'll
up
have
all
to work, but the city's going to be trash.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's gonna say there's a lot of fucking cleanup on aisle 2 being done.
Dude,
Sorry, we got 17 cars firebombed.
Dude, they were talking to my Uber driver yesterday morning. 'Cause I flew out of Philly yesterday morning, and he was saying, so like the route I took was, I don't know, $35. He said on Sunday, that'll probably be like $125 ride. Like so much money.
Jesus.
These drivers are going to make shitloads of money. And so it was like a 18-minute.
And the game's not even there.
Nope. But he's going to start like, I think they can start selling booze at 7. So bars and everything are going to open up at 7.
Oh God, no, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Like
Yeah,
I
they've
said,
been drinking
Patty's
for 10 hours before the game starts.
If I was in Philly, I'm like bars open at 3:30.
Day. What time's kickoff? 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
And then we're shutting down immediately after.
Yeah,
And I think the old President Trump's going to the game. First time the president's ever gone to the game.
yeah.
And who's he cheering for?
I don't know that he said.
I don't. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to pick.
Talk
He's
about
probably
a
just going to
nation
hang out.
but actual.
You know who he's probably
hang
not
out
going to
with
be
T.
sitting
Swift?
with is Taylor Swift.
They should sit together. That'd be nice and awkward.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce said it was an honor to have him there. It was like the only intelligent things Travis Kelce's ever said.
Yeah.
Like I like Travis.
What do you think the
Kelce as a
over-under
tight end.
is if they win, he proposes to Taylor on the field?
I'll turn it off. He annoys the shit out of me as a human being.
Well, I know you only like Patrick Mahomes. I get it. But anyway, what do you think the
I
over-under
like
is?
Pacheco.
Yeah,
I like
he's probably got
Jones.
like 2 years left in the league before he's done.
Oh,
he runs too hard.
runs too hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Over-under, you
There's
think
got
he'll
to
do
be
it?
a prop bet for that somewhere, right?
And if they lose, she breaks up with him, you think? Or
No. I mean, kudos to the Kelsey brothers for like
Dude.
jumping on this. They're on like
we
fucking
got like
everything.
200 million for their podcast. Fucking,
They got the podcast. They in on that beer thing. Kelsey was on like 3 or 4 like talk shows.
he's getting his own show on ESPN, isn't he? Jason?
He's smart. Jason.
Jason's funny. I think fucking
Jason got
cracks me up.
Jason got the brains out of that bunch.
Yeah, he's normal.
Yeah. His wife's pretty funny too. She got her own
Yeah.
podcast.
Dude, she looks so, like when they first talked about her, like I ever saw her, I thought it was like their little sister. She looks so much younger than him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that must be like their sister. And then I was like, oh shit, that's his
Did you
wife.
hear their first date story? So they met on Tinder. And they agreed to meet up at this place. She shows up, and Jason is fucking wasted. They talk for like 5-10 minutes, and he just passes out at the bar. Just fucking lights out, falls asleep at the bar. And she's like, cool. Leaves. Obviously, they reconnected, and it was fine. Yeah, just
Wow.
fucking
It's a good first
falls
impression.
asleep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, this is the one. This is the gem. Look at him. He can sleep at a bar and not snore. I'm in.
He was probably snoring.
Oh, 100% he was snoring, yeah. But no one's going to tell him to leave.
That's a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Go Chiefs.
Be a little less shitty. Next week, Matt and I will be out at Elite Fitness
Word.
talking with Dave Tate. Should be entertaining.
Yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah.
Tanner didn't go. Chris is going. Much fucking pussies.
Pooties.
We'll do some Barbell After Dark videos out there. But it'll be during the day and at their gym and not here. So, anyway.
Those videos you're doing are pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. That was good. Fat Tony's always like, oh, super enthusiastic out there again. I'm just going to be like the dude from Ferris Bueller. Bueller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you guys like those videos, the little Barbell After Dark, if you want to see anything, suggestions, doesn't have to be gym related. Could be barbecue. Could be guns. Something like that. Let us know.
Could be pooping.
Could be pooping.
Brett can take the camera in there while he's taking the big old
Put the
deuce.
GoPro under there.
Oh, yeah. I got the waterproof one. Yeah. Matt can fish it out.
Yep.
And then we can rate poops.
Yeah.
Like poop. What was your claim to fame?
Oh, yeah. RateYourDuty.com. I had the dump of the day on there one time.
Yeah.
It's gone now. That's when I called my sister and I was like, check out this webpage. And I go, that's my poop right there. And she's like dry heaving on the phone. And that was hard back in the day because it wasn't a smartphone.
Yeah.
That was like a digital camera. Then I had to fucking take the
Upload
SD
it,
card, upload it, and it
On the
pooped that
actual
size.
internet, probably dial up.
Had to download the brown load. But we appreciate you guys listening. Go out there and subscribe to our YouTube page so we can keep growing that, and it motivates us to do more things, or maybe you want to demotivate us, I guess. But we appreciate you guys listening. Try to be a little less shitty every day. We'll see you next time.